Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here this afternoon with Baloo and Brandy, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Baloo's ability to understand and respond to his formal on-leash obedience commands. The correction and the motivation that we give the dogs when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Brandy is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and she keeps the bulk of the leash folded neatly in her right hand. That leaves her left hand free to give any correction, he can lay down, that's fine, that's needed. And the only correction that we give is a little tug and let go on the training collar. That is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Baloo is going to come home with his very own training equipment, and you're going to be taught how to use that properly during your follow-up training session. Now, one thing about this breed of dog is that they need a job to do. So what obedience training is going to offer you is giving him a job and a way to use what's very smart between his ears. So he is lying down very nicely next to Brandy's left leg, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that they're going to demonstrate for us is heeling. Heeling is proper leash walking, and the command is Baloo, heel. He was getting himself very comfortable there. It's a beautiful afternoon. Heeling is the dog walking with you next to your left leg, and each time that you stop your feet, Baloo has been taught to sit automatically without being told to wait for his next command. This makes walking your dog a pleasure. Now, Brandy, come around and just have him sit facing the camera right in front, right by those two cones. We're going to demonstrate the figure 8 exercise. Now, the figure 8 exercise, you can use 2 beach chairs, 2 trash cans, whatever you have handy. We're using our little orange cones. Baloo likes this exercise because it challenges him a little bit. The faster you go, the more the dog has to think. So again, Brandy's going to say Baloo, heel, and she's going to take off to her left. And his job is to maintain pace with her with no pressure on the leash, to sharpen his heeling skills and remind him that he always has, all right, stop right there, good. Good boy. He looked up at her like, what do you want me to do now? So that's your figure 8 exercise, and that helps to develop better heeling skills. Brandy had been using 3 and 4 close together and really keeping him motivated because he needs to use that beautiful brain of his. Now, the next command that we're going to demonstrate is the sit-stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command, and because it is a stationary exercise, it is a one-word command. Now, we have to have him finish the exercise the way it was taught, even though he's more comfortable lying down. And in practical application, if you're standing on the corner talking to someone, it's okay. But he was taught to sit and stay. When Brandy returns back to him, she walks all the way around him as an additional distraction, and he is to remain seated. She walks back to his shoulders and she stops, and then she gives him another command. If you take off walking without telling him what you want him to do, whether it be stay or heel, he's going to step off with you. Very nice. Now she's going to leave him in another stay, and I want you to work up at home to a 3-minute long sit stay. And you can practice right in your living room. This time, instead of returning back to him, Brandy is going to use his name. She's going to lighten her tone, and she's going to call him, and this is your come on command. And he's been taught to come, and then he should sit right in front. No jumping on anyone, always coming and sitting. And then he returns back to heel, his little nubs going. And he loves this one-on-one positive reinforcement, praise, verbal motivation, telling him he's a good boy, keeping him focused on you. So again, Brandy will leave him. If he doesn't sit, she gives that little tug that we talked about. She leaves him in a sit-stay. She turns to face him, walks out to the end of her leash. Now she's going to call him. You can tell him he's a good boy when he's coming in. Very good. And coming to you is always positive experience. So always gets praise for coming. And tomorrow when you come to get him, I'll tell you ways to practice your come to make it even more successful. Now the next commands that we're going to demonstrate for you are your down commands, and there are two. The first one is the down from a heel position. So always have your dog seated before you attempt to put him into a down. Open flat of your palm, straight down toward the ground on the one-word command to down and stay. Your sit stay should work up to 3 minutes. Your down stay should work up to 5 minutes, and he loves to lay down, so I don't think you'll have a problem with that. When Brandy returns back to him, she walks all the way around him just as she did on the sit stay. And surprisingly enough, that return can take several days to teach because some dogs are so insecure that they can't stand to have you behind them. So anything to help the dog to be more focused, more mature, less reactive, this is what all these commands are all about. And you are very, very quickly going to be able to drop your leash, walk away. If you're practicing indoors, you can go in the kitchen, get a glass of water, come back. These stationary exercises are very important for self-control. This time Brandy's going to call him. And believe it or not, giving Baloo a job to do is going to replace his need to instinctively herd and do some of the things that have been getting him in trouble. It's just about occupying his brain in a different way. Very good. She leaves him in a sit stay. Now this is going to be your down from a distance. So you leave him in a sit stay, you walk out, you turn to face him, and this time, the only time, you use your right hand to give the command, and you're going to tell him to down. Beautiful. Now we have demonstrated for you all of Baloo's formal obedience commands. He is extremely intelligent, and you're going to have a lot of fun finding different ways of using your commands in different situations to challenge him. Moving forward, we're going to be here for you to help you with anything that you need after he goes home and after graduation. We've enjoyed having him. He's a challenge only because he's so intelligent, and he's been a lot of fun, and we can't wait for you to be reunited. Thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.